Hey everyone, welcome to It Tastes Different Gaming Appetizers. And on this episode, Embracer Group, they're back at it again. Before we get started on this episode, make sure to like this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and also hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with new videos that we do all the time, and let us know down in the comments what you think of what we're about to talk about. So what are we going to talk about? Embracer Studios or Embracer Group. You know, we've talked about them before. They bought a lot of stuff. Well, they're back at it again. This time they went on an acquisition spending spree. They bought Limited Run Games, Tripwire Interactive, and the IP rights to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. They had 5 acquisitions in total today, along with a 6th undisclosed deal for a company in the PC and console gaming space. It's one that we don't know about. So this is pretty big. You know, recently they just bought, not too long ago, some of the properties from Square Enix. And so we've got them buying limited run games to make, you know, the different limited run releases. They do like games that don't come out on the digital version or a physical version, I'm sorry, of the game. You know, limited run makes a physical versions of these with the cases and all that cool stuff. Tripwire Interactive, which does Killing Floor 2. And then the IP rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. We got a few Lord of the Rings games coming out, like the Gollum game. And then there's another Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring game or something like that. But with Embracer having the studio, that means we could look for more games in the Lord of the Rings universe, as well as they own the IP rights. So we could be looking at additional movies and or TV shows. Amazon does have that one TV show coming out soon on their Amazon Prime that follows Lord of the Rings. Power of the Ring. Yep. So, you know, what is Embracer Group going to do with now that they have the IP? I think that's the biggest thing, is them having the IP rights to Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. We talked about this before, about how there's another video that we have out there talking about how the Lord of the Ring IP was up for grabs. And now we know who grabs it, who grabbed it. So, Shane, what do you think about Embracer Group? Man, they're just doing all sorts of stuff. What do you think about it?
They're embracing everything. They're embracing everything. Yeah, I was kind of caught off guard with this. I was primarily caught off guard by the fact that rough total, those 5 acquisitions, or possibly 6, were only $557 million. Now, granted, I said only, but I mean, Lord of the Rings trilogy made billions of dollars the last, that I know of. And the games seem to do well. Shadow of Mordor was fantastic. So yeah, I mean, that's my only problem is I don't know what Embracer Group is doing with all this acquisition. I mean, they're buying up all this stuff, but we haven't seen anything really that I know of has come to fruition yet. I mean, they bought Eidos. They got Eidos Montreal. Is it Eidos, right? They got the Deus Ex people. They got the Crystal Dynamics people. I haven't seen anything come out of these guys yet, so it worries me. Are they going to EA this thing and just put it all on ice and just screw up the development on what could be amazing games? Or are they going to let these guys do what they do and make something awesome? We have no idea what they're going to do with it yet. They're embracing them, but are they going to let them go and be free and make awesome stuff? Don't know yet. As far as the Lord of the Rings stuff, movie stuff like that, I don't know. I mean, are they gonna? I mean, I don't know how that works because I'm not, some entertainment lawyer, but Amazon's got the Power of the Rings series coming, so Embracer Group owns that now. Are they going to make changes? Are they going to, all right, well, you got to advertise. I need advertisement in there for our games or something like that. I mean, Gollum, they're going to have him sitting on the toilet playing, Xbox, Shadow of Mordor or something. what is this Embracer Group company? What are they going to do? And they were also a bunch of their stock was bought up by a Saudi Arabia, um, and from what I know, they're probably not the best people, because they like to behead reporters. So I don't know. I just don't know anything about this company. And yeah, they're buying up. When they bought up those companies from Square Enix, like Crystal Dynamics, makes me happy because Square Enix has not been doing good lately. They just haven't. Uh, and it worries me. About the only thing they got going on anymore is Final Fantasy. And I'm afraid they're just going to milk that to death. So I was kind of happy to see Embracer Group, you know, take, Eidos Montreal or whoever that was, the Eidos and the Crystal Dynamics under the little Embracer wings. And hopefully they'll let them make the games that they really want to make. Hopefully that's the reason that they purchased them, but I don't know. What do you think, Nick? I mean, do you know of anything Embracer has released since they made all these acquisitions here in the last few years?
I think there has been some. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but so far, yeah, we don't really know what Embracer's going to do with all these properties that they've purchased. So far, right? So far, they have seemed to, from what we've heard from developers and stuff like that, from interviews and various things, is that Embracer is pretty much just letting them do whatever, right? They're basically purchasing them and just kind of letting them run their own, right? Not really giving them any stipulations or anything like that, just kind of letting them do their own thing, which is good. That's what we want to see, right? So hopefully that is the case, right? Hopefully they allow them just to make whatever they would like, and do however they want, just as long as they have that power dynamic, of making all these companies making games for them. So I mean, they've bought a lot of things, and they don't. They also bought Dark Horse, which was that comic book entertainment brand. And they bought. We talked about before. They bought Asmodee, which is a board game publisher, and just all sorts of stuff. They buy everything. Like, yeah, it's the Umbrella Corporation is what we got going on here. They just purchase everything. Everything's under the umbrella. Next thing you know, they're going to have T viruses and G viruses. We're going to have prescription ads from the Embracer Group, right? But yeah, this just a big conglomerate of this company is just buying up everything. And if they allow these companies to do their own thing, that's great. Yeah, because Square Enix, especially with that deal, Square Enix wasn't doing anything with Deus Ex and Thief, and Tomb Raider probably would have had a new one. I think they were working on a new Tomb Raider, but
and they were working on a movie too that got completely canned from what I understood.
All right. Yeah, but Deus Ex and Thief, they weren't doing anything with them. So give these properties to somebody else that's going to actually make something out of them, because these are good properties that you have here and there's no reason just to sit on them. So, yeah, it's, it's crazy, we should have thought that Embracer was probably going to be the one to buy Lord of the Rings. Like I said, there is a video that we have out there that we talk about the IP for the Lord of the Rings being up for grabs. And kind of, I think we talked about possibly who we thought might grab that IP. And I'm not sure if we said Embracer Group. One of us might have said something about it, but it's not, I wouldn't say it was out of left field or anything to see Embracer buy them, right? They've been buying up things so much that it's not like, oh, well, that's a strange, that's strange that they purchased that. No, that's okay. Yeah, that makes sense for them to purchase them. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with these properties, to see what they do with the Lord of the Rings, Tripwire Interactive with Killing Floor. We played quite a bit of Killing Floor. That's a fun game. And limited run games, we're going to see more physical releases. They do quite a bit, but now they have Embracer Group backing them, we might see a huge amount of these limited run games come out. So, the future will let us know what happens, right?
Yeah, I just did a quick little research here. I did not realize that Embracer Group is actually formerly THQ Nordic. So, I mean, they have a pedigree, a background of video games. But the last I looked, last I heard, it's been a while, THQ Nordic wasn't in the best shape. I mean, as far as their video games, uh, they weren't, dead or anything, but you don't really hear a bunch about them. And now all of a sudden they got a bunch of cash and they're buying everything up. I mean, THQ Nordic, I mean, Time Splitters, Little Nightmares, Goat Simulator, the new Saints Row coming out, Valheim. Yeah. They've got a lot of meat in them potatoes. So, I mean, hopefully they don't butcher them like we said, but still, I didn't realize that THQ Nordic basically changed their name and, they gave themselves a facelift, a cash infusion, and now they're on a shopping spree. So, I mean, they definitely have a gaming background, but, they changed their name. What else has changed? I don't know.
I mean, well, THQ, they went under. Basically, there was so according to this, there was a company called Nordic Games.
Yes.
And they had acquired the THQ trademark and renamed them to THQ Nordic. And then now they're Embracer Group. So yeah, I mean, so the THQ is still around. I mean, and that makes sense. Nordic Games is not a very known name, right? Mm-hmm. And so to buy a known brand, right? That's basically what they did, was buy the brand name of THQ because everybody knows THQ. And then, just slap that on there and then like, oh, it's a THQ game. Okay, cool. I thought they went under. I guess not, kind of but because they did, at one point. And so, yeah, I mean, Embracer Group's just been going crazy with it. I mean, the only problem is like, you always worry about these types of big companies like this and the crazy acquisitions and stuff that they make. You worry about what they're going to do, because we've seen good intentions gone bad, right? EA and Activision, those companies started out okay, right? And Activision and EA were around for a very long time. But, back in the day, EA and Activision were like, oh, okay, cool. A game from Activision, a game from EA. Now it's like, oh, great. A game from Activision, a game from EA, because they've just gone downhill as far as reliability as a company, right? And consumer, the way that consumers see them as a company. And the Embracer's got to be careful because they could go the same route. And we all, right now, we're kind of neutral with Embracer, right? Embracer hasn't done us wrong, but the moment they start doing that, then we're gonna start bitching about, we're gonna have this rants. We're gonna be bitching about Embracer. So hopefully it doesn't go that route.
Yeah, I mean that would suck because we watched these big companies do it, and here comes another one. We don't know what their plan is. We don't know. We know a little bit about their background from when they were THQ, which not the best background because they went out of business basically. Then they get bought up, and now they're changing names, and I'm kind of wondering where all this damn money's coming from. I mean, who's investing?
Somebody's fitting the bill.
Money? Oh yeah. So I'm not fit because I ain't got that kind of money. But if the Embracer Group wants to buy me, I'm all for sale. I'm a hoe. So,
right. He's cheap.
Yeah, I'm a cheap hoe. Cheap hoe. If this continues, though, I'm really wondering who this sixth one is. I really wonder. Is it? I mean, the way the article reads, it's 557 million, I think it was, for the 5, possibly the 6. I don't know if the 6 was added in there.
I don't think so. I think it was 577 million in total upfront costs, and there's even a 6 secret purchase that Embracer isn't disclosing yet. So I would say that 577 million is probably not a part of the total, right? Not including the 6th one, I would assume.
Well, I'm gonna throw this out on a limb. You heard it here, folks. Embracer Group buys the rest of Square Enix. That's it. They bought the rest of Square Enix. They got the whole kit and caboodle. They got all of Final Fantasy now, and they're going to put everything on mobile.
Square Enix is already doing that.
Well, they're going to continue the trend.
Right, it's a possibility. Right, it's definitely a possibility, especially since it's it's a game. What they say? It's a gaming developer within the gaming and PC market. It's a company in the PC and gaming space, in console gaming space. So, I mean, that's very vague. That could be a lot of different things, but it could be Square Enix. I don't know who it would be, so I'm not going to try to make a guess. But it could be, right. Yeah, I don't know if Square Enix is really looking to be purchased, but they might be.
I think Square Enix is just they don't have a clue what they're doing anymore. I mean,
they seem to be making a lot of strange decisions.
And before you know it, the only thing they're going to have left is Final Fantasy and some
and Forspoken, Final Fantasy and Forspoken. God, and Babylon's Fall.
Oh well, hell, Babylon's Fall's got to carry them right there.
Oh, and Avengers. Avengers.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
All their great successes.
Yeah, great success. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though. I mean, the way Square Enix talks, that they can sell 1 billion copies of something, feels it's a disaster. I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy was fantastic. They called it a failure. Don't know why. I mean, commercially, I can't remember, but I think everybody loved it. I mean, financially, I think it probably did well. It probably didn't do Final Fantasy numbers by any means, but Square Enix does stupid crap. So I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what Embracer does, and we'll see if we'll see what sixth company they've, when they fully disclose it. It's definitely a company, since it's in secret, it's definitely a company that doesn't want to say or doesn't want to announce it yet. So I would say it is a big company. I don't think Embracer's holding back, as a surprise. It's probably the company themselves saying, let's not disclose this till a certain time. So I would say it is a bigger company. If I were to have to guess, I wouldn't imagine like some small studio would want to keep things under wraps. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting. And, since Embracer Group has the IP rights to Lord of the Rings, who are they going to have develop a Lord of the Rings game, right? I mean, and them having the IP just means that they could develop it with something they own, or they could just hand it out willy-nilly, right? They could give it to some other company to make a game from, or that has nothing to do with them.
They got Crystal Dynamics, and I think Crystal Dynamics could do a fantastic job if, with a little bit of guidance from, the people that truly know Lord of the Rings. And, they definitely got a pedigree for fantastic storytelling, background, character designs. I mean, Tomb Raider series, they brought it back with a vengeance. So, I don't know.
Die Hard.
New Die Hard.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But do you got anything else you want to add to this before we wrap this up?
For the right money, they can embrace me.
He's available, Embracer.
Just give him a ring. My wife like that.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Again, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Make sure to like the video if you haven't liked it already. And let us know down in the comments what do you think. What do you think of Embracer grabbing all these studios? What do you think the sixth studio is? Let us know down below. And
Square Enix.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. But thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.